What's up, guys? Hazy here, and we are going to be going over a straight nostalgia trip for me. Secret of Mana. I played it through the remastered version. This game holds a special place in my gaming library, in my nostalgia memories. I played this game when I was growing up, and it was really popular amongst my friend group. We would sit down and play for hours, and one of the reasons being was this was a game where you could play co-op, and it was an RPG. And back when this game came out, there weren't a lot of games that allowed you to play together with your buddy and also be an RPG. And this kind of broke that stereotypical single player RPG experience. Yeah, you're not really playing as player number one per se, but at least from what I can remember, the co-op was done pretty well. You had to find your two other party members before you could unlock co-op, and it was a really special game, I guess, for me growing up. Without further ado, we're going to kind of jump right into it here, get right straight to the meat and potatoes. I know you guys' time is valuable. If you enjoy this type of content, please hit that like button, that subscribe button, comment something down in the comments if you played Secret of Mana. If you think you're going to play Secret of Mana, I do encourage you to play Secret of Mana, especially if you got a buddy that you'd like to experience this game with, and you both like RPGs. Great RPG game. I did 100% achievement this, which is pretty unusual for me for RPG games. Just because even using a walkthrough, which I did to make sure I got this, or tried to get these, and I luckily did. I mean, even with a walkthrough, I missed stuff in like Final Fantasy games. Like, I haven't 100%ed any Final Fantasy games. Yeah, I've been close a few times here and there, and I might be able to go back to do these, but my intention initially in Secret of Mana was not to 100% achievement this game. But as I was going through the walkthrough, I was like, well, I might as well try. So I did. And we'll get on to some of the downsides of going achievement hunting for this game. But if you do want to do 100% achievement this game, it is possible. I did it. It's not very difficult. If you just follow the walkthrough, use a walkthrough, you can find online. And you can find some great ones online that kind of make sure or help you not forget something. But let's get into the review. I'm going to just have some playthrough going on in the background. I think a lot of this was just me leveling. Alright, here we go. So we just have this going in the background. But guys, graphics, I'm going to give graphics a 7 out of 10. That might be kind of generous. Really, for what it is, but I do think the remaster looks pretty good. I think they did a solid job with the remaster. Looks good. I think the original looked good as well when it came out. I know there's probably some people that don't prefer the remake over the original, but I do kind of prefer the remake over the original just because I can see more detail of like the weapons, and the weapons really are a cool aspect of the game because they do change visuals as you power them up. So yeah, it is old school style graphics, but it looks good for what it is. It has that modern touch, and I think they did a good job with it. One of my favorite zones in the game was Ice Country. Ice Country probably is my favorite zone after beating the game. The dungeons, palaces, caves, castles, fortresses, things like that you go in throughout the game are pretty, I guess, generic and normal from RPG games like this. But I really loved Ice Country. I don't know why. Maybe it was just the way with the crystals and the snow and how everything looked. But Ice Country was really good. I thought it looked amazing. Definitely my favorite zone of the game. Like I said, with the weapons, as you level up your weapons, like the spear, they do change visuals. So you can kind of see your weapon growing with the stats that it gets, as well as the visuals as it gets, because as you level up your weapon, it starts to look more powerful, look meaner, look more badass, I guess, right? Weapons looked really good. I thought the weapon visuals, graphics looked really well done. Graphics really did grow on me. When I first started playing this game, I was kind of like, meh, kind of like cartoony, you know, like not really my style. Usually like a little more, I guess, mature setting RPG. But they really did grow on me, and the graphics were very well done. And it was good, you know, really, really brought up those nostalgia memories of me and my buddy playing. Sound and music. Music was really well done. I give music a 6 out of 10 though. There was some areas where the music was super repetitive, and unfortunately to get some of those achievements, I had to grind a lot. And so, I mean, a lot of my opinion might be based on that I was grinding a lot, so I heard the music over and over and over while I was grinding. You also have to realize this is an older game, right? When this game came out, a lot of RPGs did use very repetitive music, especially in like towns and certain zones and areas. It would just be on a very short loop. So music was good. Like I said, just keep in mind when this game came out. The sound of like the magic spells and weapons was pretty basic, generic. Definitely served their purpose, and they were fine, but pretty generic and basic. But like I said, to be expected. Moving on to characters and story. Characters and story, I actually give a 7 out of 10. It might have been a 6 out of 10, but I'm going to keep it at a 7 out of 10. It was a very light-hearted story with a few mature aspects in there. It's not an overly dark story. Very light-hearted, somewhere in the middle of like Mario and Zelda. Characters were very well done. As you journeyed on, your party kind of started to understand one another, and they became closer and grew together more like a family, whereas when they first started out, they really didn't know what to think of each other and kind of had their own little personal agendas. But as they traveled together, they realized, hey, we need to start working together. And it was good. It was good. It was a good character. Character development was pretty good in that aspect as well. I say that, and back then, a lot of these games followed the same RPG story of a group of strangers or people who would normally be traveling together, working together to save the world, becoming friends, learning about each other, and working together to stop the evil in the world. So it's kind of generic in that sense, but character development was good. Nothing too crazy, nothing groundbreaking. Like I said, a lot of RPG games followed the same concept. The end dialogue was funny. There was some comedy when you went to rest at the end. You'd have these little scenes where the group would sit there and chat about things that you guys experienced in your adventure and things that were going on in the world. Thought that was very good. Definitely had you learn more about each character that way, as well as see where the party's mentality was with things that happened to them throughout your journey. Characters would bicker back and forth, and that's kind of where you got some of that comedy. The Mana Tree cutscene was amazing. I thought they did a very good job with that. I thought the voice acting for the Mana Tree was very suitable, very believable. I was very impressed with the voice acting for the Mana Tree. Just really good. I liked it a lot. Thought they did a good job there. Moving on to gameplay. Gameplay I give 6 out of 10. And some of this is probably my own fault because it honestly was a very, very grindy to level up your magic spells. I think Prim, the support class, the blonde-haired girl, I think she would get maybe 1% each time she cast her spells, maybe 2%, and some of her spells cost quite a bit of mana. Can't think of her name. The red-haired girl, the more like damage dealing mage. It was a little bit easier to level up her magic skills, but there is a ton of magic skills to get to level 8, and it takes some time. So if you're grinding for that achievement to level 8 magic, yeah, you can get there. It can be done, but you're gonna be chilling. I mean, put a movie up on the side, a couple movies probably. The grind, it was terrible for that. It sucked. Weapons weren't as bad, but again, you had to grind your weapons to get them leveled up, especially if you wanted to actually use them to make sure that you are getting a significant amount of damage. But the grind was just bad, man. It was bad for those achievements. The wheel system that you kind of seen here was, I think, a pretty good system. And back in the day, I remember we really thought that wheel system was a good idea, especially with them trying to do the live action combat with a little bit of pause in there so you can cast different spells and support spells and things like that. But I thought that was, you know, the wheel system was pretty good. It was pretty good. Power creep felt good. I thought, you know, your magic level and your weapons that you got were equivalent to the enemies that you were fighting. Obviously, at some point with all the grinding I was doing, I became super over leveled. The end boss, a few of the end game bosses I fought weren't really all too challenging, but that's because I had huge mana pools, I had huge health pools, had the best equipment in the game. You know, I was maxed out. So last boss fight, a little underwhelming, but to be expected when you are over leveled, right? But yeah, so gameplay 6 out of 10. Last thing is bugs and cons. I didn't run into any bugs, no crashes. Like I said, the only real con I have for this is it is a bit grindy when you're going after the max level weapons and the max magic. But other than that, I think Secret of Mana is a very solid game. If you're looking at picking it up, pick it up on a sale. Grab a buddy, have a couple drinks, whatever. Chill out, play some Secret of Mana, have some laughs, have a good time. But that's all I got for you guys. Have a good day or night, wherever you're at in the world. Leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. Did you like Secret of Mana back in the day? Have you never played Secret of Mana? Are you going to pick up Secret of Mana and check it out? What do you think of this game? Let me know down in the comments. Much love, and we will see you on the next one.